Good evening, and welcome to tonight's crew call. My name is Jimmy Hayes Nelson. I am the CEO and the founder of The Crew, and we're in a very excited group of Beachbody coaches that are doing some amazing things. And my hat is off to all of you. Just for these weeks, this month has been bananas, yo. Absolutely bananas. I'm going to take care of one thing real quick so we don't have ding, ding, dings throughout the program. I'm just so impressed with everybody here. And the fact that you're plugging into this right now, here live tonight, just speaks so much. It just speaks volumes about that you take this seriously, that you really do want to impact lives, that you really do want to change others' lives and change your life in the process. And that just means so much to me. It means so much to your sponsor coach that you're here and that you're plugging in, that you're staying teachable, and that you really are taking this silly little saying we talk about learn, do, tweak, learn, do, tweak. And every week that we can come in here on a Monday night and talk about what we learned last week, what we did, and what we need to tweak, maybe what didn't go well, maybe what did go well. And the more that we can focus in on that tiny little 20% that really generates 80% of our results, and the more we really pay attention as we have success, even if you feel like you've only had a small amount of success, that if you can go back and identify quickly what it was about that situation that yielded success to you, the faster we can identify those, the faster we can kind of cut away some of maybe the other things that are time wasters, that are time suckers, that maybe you could outsource, maybe you could have somebody else help you with, so you can stay in that sweet, sweet spot, that 20%, so that you learn how to be able to have that success over and over again at a more rapid pace, and you really create some amazing momentum. But watching what's going on with the crew, watching what you guys are doing this month and the past couple months, and just this summer. Summer can be so slow for people, but not you guys. You don't leech onto those excuses. You don't lean on, oh, everybody's out of town or everybody's on vacation, or oh, they're already fat this year at the pool anyway, so they don't care. Like, you're not willing to accept the status quo for excuses that come in at this time of year in our business. And you've put your head down and you've really gone out there and you've delivered hope to others, and you've identified issues and really reached out and impacted people. And I just wanted to take a time tonight before we get started. And I know we do recognition and everything else, but just how crazy, crazy proud I am of you, and that it isn't going unnoticed. And it's just so humbling to be a part of this thing, and I'm so excited to partner with each of you, and that's what we are. It's not my team or your team or whoever's team. We're just a collection of people that really care about others, and so thank you for your portion of this. If this is your very first crew call, I just want to say welcome. Thank you for joining our family. We're so stoked to have you as a new coach. I'm really going to encourage you to plug in to the crew wall and to plug into these calls every Monday. Maybe you're a coach that had some success, and maybe you had disengaged and now you're back and you're really wanting to refocus. Do it. Refocus. Unless it be the last time you ever use a re-word in your entire life, that it's not off the wagon, on the wagon. It's just how quickly can you correct? Really, at the end of the day, that's what it is. And the people that can correct quicker have the most success. It's not the people that have the most success that never make mistakes, that don't screw this up. More than likely, they're actually willing to screw it up more often, and they correct faster. And why do they correct faster? Usually it's because they're plugged into the crew wall. They're plugged into these calls. They're plugged into their sponsor coach, and they're willing to make that mistake and say, man, I'm struggling here. What am I doing wrong? How can I tweak this? Because remember, guys, success leaves footprints. Success leaves tracks. So if you're willing to follow in the tracks of those that have had success before you, your rate of success is going to be so much quicker than mine or any of the other leaders in the crew, because there's a lot of us that either we didn't have a whole lot of help, or we weren't teachable at times, or we were really stubborn. And please don't repeat some of the dumb mistakes I've made in my life. And you can do that by plugging in and asking, man, has anybody else ever had this mistake? Has anybody else ever struggled with this? Because I'm going to guarantee you there's nothing you're going through that somebody else in this team hasn't gone through, figured out a way around it, and conquered it, and can help you do the same. So that's my early spiel. And so welcome, and so excited to have you here. Let's talk about some recognition. Like I said, it's been a really amazing month. So we always do this. We talk about our volume leaders from the previous week. So this is the team volume that this individual has produced from the previous week. And if that's kind of Greek to you, don't worry. You'll be around long enough that it will make sense. But basically, the reason we do this is these are the people that are out there serving others. They're constantly adding to their list. They're making 3 to 5 new friends a day, whether it's on social media, if it's out and about, at the soccer games, the baseball field, at the grocery store, at the bank. However, they're choosing to grow their business, that they're adding 3 to 5 new friends a day. And if you're taking notes, which I really hope you are, and you feel like you're talking to the same 4 or 5 people over and over, and you're wondering why I'm not an Emerald yet, why haven't I had those 2 coaches? Well, what may be happening is you're fixating on these 2 people that gave you maybes, and you're just circling back around, and they keep giving you the runaround. Bless them and release them and say, hey, great, I'm gonna keep doing this, so you know where to get me when you're ready to step up. And be talking to new people every day. And maybe it's not that you're talking Beachbody with these 5 new people a day, but you're just establishing a relationship, a friendship, a connection. Maybe you're going on other Facebook groups, and there's a new TV show or series. It's not on TV, it's on Netflix, that I'm all of a sudden obsessed with. It's called Orange is the New Black. And it was written by the lady that wrote Weeds. And so Kelly's been out of town all week, so I've had some time in the evenings to watch TV or watch shows. And so I've been totally obsessed with this show on Netflix. And I think I'm going to finish like the 12th episode tonight. I'd be really sad that I have to wait and see what happens next. But I could easily go on Twitter and see who else is talking about this show, or go on the Facebook fan page and see who else is talking about it, and make new connections. Dallas Cowboys training camp started this week. That's always football season. I always end up making new connections because I go on Twitter and see who's talking Cowboys, who's talking NFL. I literally will make 3 to 5 new connections every Cowboy game, because during the games, I will pop on Twitter and see who's talking about the games, and I'll sit and chit-chat back and forth. And eventually they go look at my Twitter profile and they go, oh, this guy's into fitness or whatever, and like other conversations happen. So really think of the interest you have outside of Beachbody, where you can connect with new people and you can start conversations as well. And the people that you're about to see on this list are people that do that on a regular basis. They're meeting new people. They're out there serving new people and getting to know new people. So let's see who was on the Crew 200 list. These are people with team volume points, personal team volume points from last week between 200 and 299. And I'm just looking at these slides for the first time also, because my beautiful wife put them together in New Orleans and emailed them to me, and I haven't even looked at them. So let's all look together. And look, my wife leads us off. Kelly, Carmen, Jessica, Edna, Cindy, Dawn, Stacy, Betty, a.k.a. Nia. Nice, girl. Mark, Lacey, Lee, Christy, Rebecca, Quinn, Louisa, and Chris. Congratulations to the Crew 200 Club. The Crew 300 Club, Andy Redmond, Mary Schrank, Cheska, Christy, Christopher, Jack. Look, we know all these names. They pop up every week, guys. If you see names on here that are popping up every week, man, I would really encourage you to tag these people in the Crew wall, in the Facebook group, and say, how do you end up on this wall every week? What are you doing every day? Because we've talked about it, guys. We've talked about the power of 5. You can look at this the way. You can talk about the 3 vital behaviors, which you hear from Carl in corporate. Or a lot of us have really embraced this power of 5 that we learned from John Maxwell at Summit. And I'm sharing this with my personally sponsored coaches, even my cup team right now, that it's do that workout, drink that Shakeology, get that 15 minutes of personal development in a day, share 2 to 3 success stories, whether it's, again, face-to-face with people, on your Facebook page, via Twitter, on a YouTube, whatever it is, how you're finding people, share some success stories. And then number 5, invite those that show interest to take that next step to join you in your challenge group, in our Crew community groups, to take that step to make a commitment. That's it. That's just that 5, guys. You don't have to do this 8 hours a day to make a serious business out of this. Now, it's that 5 every day. It's an apple a day keeps the doctor away. It's not 7 apples on Friday. It's P90X disc every day. It's not chest and back and plyo and yoga and Kempo X on Sunday, right? It's a little bit every day. Boom, boom, boom. And at the end of the day, can you check off those 5? Can you check off those 5? And I would encourage you that your head doesn't hit the pillow until you can check off those 5 if you're really serious about making this thing consistently positive. for you and gaining some momentum. Crew 400 Club, Alex, Mandy, Kobe Pewitt, Adrian, Brandy, and Sherry. Congratulations. That's awesome. Again, names that we see on a pretty consistent basis, guys. So, if you're a new coach, you're somebody, you're like frustrated, like, I'm not on this list yet. These names are your key to success. Like I said, success leaves tracks. So if you're willing to learn from others, all of these people are around to help you out. Oh, wow. The Crew 500 to 999 Club. John Hayes in combined CBCs. Britt Williams. Michelle Kellogg in combined CBCs. Sorry, I'm looking to the side here, guys. This is where my screen is. Kristen Washko. Jamil. Angela Unruh. Kobe. Linder in combined CBCs. Brian Martin. Jillian Legos My Egos. Hey, girl. Christina and Shannon Lee up north of the border in Canada. Congratulations. So that means do we have anybody in the 1,000 Club? I swear I didn't know that was coming. I didn't know it was coming. If I did, it would have been a better setup. I really wish I'd have known that. So I'm chilling by myself in the Crew 1000 Club this week. I would love some company next week. Who will come join me? I got to make it there again next week. I'm lonely. Please come join me in the Crew 1000 Club. Success Club, guys. Success has been bananas this month. I mean, think about it with like T25 and Vanilla Shakeology, and we have record number of people that we have 3 sections of Success Club. So this is everybody that's made Success Club already. 20, 10, and 5. So Jamil and Tulin and me and Kristen and Kobe and Vicky and Brian and Andy and Sherry, or is that Cherie? And John and Mary and Danielle and Christy and Jacania. I've been practicing. Tell me if I got it. Because if I didn't, I'd practice. I watched that stinking video, girl. And Jamie and Adrian and Joshua and Liz and Solange and Kareem and Brandy and Bev and Christopher and Christy and Sherry. So that's a lot of people making. That's 20. It's 25. Oh, wait. Is there somebody else down there? And it's Shannon. That's 26. So that's not a record because I know we've had over 30 in a month. But the good news is we still have over a week left in this month. You can still make Success Club. If you have 0 points, you can still make Success Club. And we talk about points. Look who's on the board. We have 40 people with at least 1 Success Club point that haven't made Success Club yet. People, you're so stinking close. The good news is, and remember, I talked about this a little bit earlier. Excuse me. If you've ever gotten 1 Success Club point, you know you can do it. Your belief system changes to, I don't know if I can do this, to, I did it. Now I just got to repeat it and repeat it. And the more you repeat it, the more your confidence goes up and the easier it gets. It's like priming that pump. I think we played that Zig Ziglar video before that it talks about the hard part's the early part, like priming the pump and trying to get that water running. But when the water's running, as long as you're at least like continually, like consistently just kind of pumping the handle, you don't have to pump as hard. It's the same thing with our fitness, right? You always have to work so much harder at the beginning to get that momentum rolling. And then once you get it rolling, it's easier to maintain that fitness. Anything in life. So, guys, everybody on this list, you've been there, you've done that, you have a point, you can get the next one. And I'm going to encourage you those, and you're like, I'm not even on this list yet. You still have time. You still have time. And I was talking to Kobe about this today. We were working out today, and I was reminded of Jim Rohn talking about that early on. So I'm talking to coaches that are early on, or if right now maybe you've been a coach and you just don't have a lot of confidence in talking to others and sharing. And I don't know who this is, but I just feel like it's one of those things that somebody needs to hear this, so here we go. But Jim Rohn always talks about when you lack in skill, make up for in number what you lack in skill. So if right now you feel like, I'm not really awesome at this, then you need to go practice a ton on a lot of people, right? And don't be, and this is the hard part, guys, and I understand this, but hear me out. You need to practice. And know going in, this is just practice. So I'm going to hear no's, I'm going to hear excuses, I'm going to hear everything. I just need to practice. I keep getting the price objection, so I need to practice how I handle a price objection. I keep hearing this. I need to practice. So Jim Rohn talks about say I'm the seasoned veteran, right? And for every 10 people I talk to, I can get 7 to sign up. That's an amazing closing ratio, right? I talk to 10, I get 7. And Jim Rohn said, well, I'm new and I'm going to beat you because you talked to 10 and got 7. I talked to 100 and got 8. So the new person may not have the skill set of the veteran, but is that new person willing to work harder than the vet? Than the vet who maybe's like gotten lazy, that doesn't work as hard as they did in the beginning? Because even if you're brand new and this is your first day, you could top everybody on this list if you're willing to work that hard, if you're willing to get in front of enough people and share your excitement about what we're doing. You know, your shares a day of I got my T25 in. Here's me and my Shakeology. Watch how easy, maybe it's a 13-second Instagram video of how quickly I can make my Shakeology in 13 seconds. Look, I've taken care of my meal and all my vitamins in the day. I don't know what it is, but it's sharing stories and it's getting in front of as many people as possible. So if you're content saying, well, Jimmy said my 5 is all I got to do is share 2 stories and invite like 1-2 people, sure, there's your minimum. But it depends on what you want. So if you're like, man, I'm still struggling with this and I got these big dreams and these big goals, I need to go just practice and not be tied to the result, not be tied to a potential not objection. What's the word I'm looking for? Rejection. And just go, it's just information. It's just information. I did a big thing the other day where I was like inviting people to my website and stuff, and like the whole thing was a bust. Like nobody went where I asked them to go. And in the past, I would have just felt defeated and been like, man, this is awful. It was really bad. And I learned that's just information. It just means I need to tweak something. And it may mean that I'm not that far off. Maybe it's something really tiny I need to tweak. But if you'll go talk to as many people as possible, you'll get in that groove. I was talking to Wade Lamping the other day. He's on my cup team, and we're in this group text with our cup team, and we're talking about objections and stuff. And I said, man, it's just, especially early on, he's a newer coach who's had some success, but he'd hit, hopefully, Wade, you don't mind me sharing this story, but he's like, I'm kind of hitting this problem or that problem. I said, you just got to keep kind of taking the tips that you're hearing. I mean, you're studying the right stuff, and everybody's going to find their individual groove. You're going to find the type of person you're looking for and how to talk to them. That's why it's so vital to know who you're looking for. I've seen some of you that are out there talking to other moms. I always feel like the girls do such a great job of this because they know like mommies, which is a language, but they know like the words to say in the vernacular to talk to other moms. And I think all of us, men or the non-moms or non-parents, we have to remember, what are we? Okay, am I a struggling college student and I got over my excuses? So what was it that helped me get over that to do this? So how do I talk to other college students? Am I, like myself, I was a struggling performer who was waiting tables. So I could talk to 2 people. I could talk to artists and I could talk to people waiting tables, because 90% of people waiting tables, that wasn't plan A. I know very few people that's like, I want to grow up and be a waiter. Unless you're like at a crazy, crazy fine dining establishment and that is your job, but that's like this many people. So practice. And the more people you can talk to, the better, because that's the only way you get better. That's it. That's the only way you get better. John Maxwell reminded us at Summit that quit putting so much pressure on yourself to be awesome when you first start this. Nobody's good at anything so quit having that expectation. Just go, okay, well, I at least got to try. All right, I'm going to get on this bike. I may fall over, but, I'm so glad my son didn't, like the first time he tried to walk and he fell over, he just said, screw this, I'm out. Like, and now, he runs around and climbs and on things and he's crazy monkey boy, but he wasn't discouraged the first time. He just took it as information. Okay, I'm going to try again. Sometimes we just need to like revert back to when we were a kid, when like we had like nothing was going to stop us. Even, mom can have an ice cream. Mom can have an ice cream. Okay, let me find there's another way I can ask. Mom, if I do this, can I have an ice cream? Like, you got really creative as a kid. Go tap back into that. It's still there. Rank advancements. Vicky, Jennifer, Andrea, Sherry, and Leslie, congratulations, our new shiny Emerald coaches. That's so exciting, guys. Emerald. I'm going to really encourage what I would love this, and I meant to say this last week, and I was going to put it on the crew call, and then I was going to put it on the wall, but I was going to wait to talk about it now. I got a fun challenge. We have so many new coaches, and this team is growing so fast. I would love to see a record for new emeralds next week. And it is nothing for you to be able to hit emerald in your first 7 days in this business. Really seriously, guys. If you're willing to go talk to 10 to 15 people to make a list and be like, okay, if I was going to start a business, who would I want to partner with? That's one way to look at this. And make a list of those people, because this is what's really cool about this. As opposed to the job you have now, your full-time gig, where you don't get to pick the person that's in your cubicle next to you. You get to pick the people you want to work with. So you're like, if I was creating a dream company, who would I want to be a part of that company? And don't think, well, I can't put them because they're already successful. Some of the most successful coaches I've seen in this are people that were already successful in another business. Successful people dig other opportunities. I'm going to say that again. Successful, busy people are really good at this business because they see a way to create a serious income and help a lot of people on a part-time basis. Our top coach the past 2 years is a full-time orthodontist with 5 kids, and he's been our top coach the past 2 years. I know I'm not that busy. I have 1 child, and I'm not an orthodontist. So that's what I'm saying. Like, don't be hesitant. So A, make that list. And then B, maybe you're starting your fitness journey and think, okay, who about 10 people that might want to take this fitness journey with me? And what would their objections might be before I reach out to them? And play this scenario in your head. Bring that to the crew wall and say, okay, well, they may have a time objection. So maybe maybe I could get together with, maybe it's my mom or my sister, and they may be ready for a challenge pack, but they can use my T25 discs, but they'd definitely be willing to do Shakeology at a discount. So there's one of my 2. So I'm just going to let my sister borrow the T25. We're going to do that together. So just come over and she'll use the same discs I'm using. But we obviously need to get her own Shakeology. And so she can get that as a discount. So that's my 1. So guys, getting those 2 coaches, if we build it up to this impossible hurdle in our head, it is that. And if we just go, I need 2, so I'm just going to talk to the same 2 people over and over again. Man, go talk to 10, and you're going to find those 2. And sometimes it's not even about what you say. It's not about giving the best presentation or having the perfect thing to say. It's just finding the people that were already ready. And there's so many people out there that are already ready for something like this. They're just waiting for the person to come present this. I go back to my own story. Man, when I was 100 pounds overweight, I'd come out of a 2-year relationship, a breakup, pretty nasty emotional thing. I was totally like dating out of my league. She was hot, I was not. And everybody around us knew it. Like, we always get that looks like, why is that chick with that dude? And I knew that. And we had this really emotional breakup, and it was like, man, I felt lost. And I remember, stepping out of the shower and catching a glimpse of myself in a mirror and really having that moment where it was just like, who's going to love me? Like this, I'm living at home with my parents. I had nothing going for me. I'm fat. I got no future. I'm in debt. I'm living with my parents. I'm like, dude, I was not a chick magnet at the time. And, so that day, like I started like walking and riding my bike around my block and doing stuff. So I started becoming ready then. I didn't know Beachbody was going to be my solution, but I was ready. So that way, when the person that introduced me to Power 90, I was like, yes. Like but I was already ready. So you don't know how many people might already be ready. They're just waiting for you. It's a matter of just sharing with enough people. So, and then my name's on there, guys. And it's just a testament to you guys. I'm just a symbol for this team. And you guys rock my world. And I thank you so much for trusting me and working so hard and really taking the things that I prepare for you guys to share with you, and that you're willing to go and activate that. And that 6-star diamond coach, what that means to me is that the team is having success. That's what that means to me. Because all those little diamonds means somebody else has helped 8 other people get started, and that's just going and going. My goal, I shared this with some of my leaders. I would love to be a 10-star diamond coach for you guys at Leadership in September. That's what I'm really working for and going towards, so I can go and brag on you guys. And it's crazy because I've had other leaders go, wow, Jimmy, I see this rank advantage. So what are you doing different? And I'm like, I'm not. The greatest thing I can go tell them is not a damn thing. Because what we're doing, I believe in. Our story hasn't changed. We're delivering hope to a world that desperately needs this. And so it wasn't some gimmick. It wasn't some switch, some little cutesy thing that happened and all of a sudden Jimmy jumped to 6-star. It was pounding these fundamentals over and over again and finding enough of you that were willing to buy in and put it to action day after day. So I thank you. I look forward to that number growing even more as I continue to serve you and you guys continue to let me know what I can do for you, what else you would like to hear more of from me. That helps me a whole lot because if I know what it is that I can come up with, I can either provide it for you or like we had the last couple of weeks, I can find a leader that I know just rocks that message. So please keep that coming. Remember, July, we're not done yet. Like I said, you saw all those people making Success Club. They've made it so simple for you this month. You have the T25 Challenge Pack at $180. After this month, it jumps back up to $205. So let people know it's on sale. Don't just go, oh, it's just $180. Number one, if you got both those things at a full retail price, it'd be over $300. But this Challenge Pack's jumping back up to $205 after July. So take advantage of the vanilla. Maybe you had people that had said no to Shakeology before because they didn't dig the chocolate, or they just have been waiting for vanilla, and that's just their flavor choice. So it's really a huge opportunity here, guys. And those of you that are doing Team Cup, take note right now. These numbers that you're seeing produced in Team Cup, and I think I saw somebody see this. Maybe it was Kristen Washko or somebody that said, what that shows is that these types of numbers are available to us every month. Every stinking month, just that you had a cup. Okay, great. So if you found 5 people that you work really well with, why stop working with those people at the end of this month? That's so great for those of you in a Team Cup. And if you're not in a Team Cup, reach out and say, I'd love some people. I like a success partner. I'd like somebody to help me, keep me accountable. I mean, it works obviously in our challenge groups, right? And in the crew community groups. That's why people are having success and losing weight. Why should it be any different in your business to have somebody to check in with and to check in on you? So I wanted to talk to you just briefly tonight, and then I really would love to get to a Q&A. So if you're having questions and you want to pop things in a question box, I'll take some time to answer tonight. But I was reminded today, I went to a networking lunch and sat with a gentleman who's been asking me to kind of talk with him for a little while. Heavy-set gentleman in his 50s who used to be military, used to jump out of planes. Like, I learned so much about this guy today. And we got to talking, and I never went into like a challenge pack pitch. I just kept listening to his story. And what he liked and what he'd do. And he was really like, he's like, Jimmy, and I told him, I was like, I'm not a personal trainer. I was like, I'm not going to come to your house and count and help you do push-ups. He's like, I just need somebody to support me. I was like, I can do that. And he was telling me what he liked to do and that he liked to get out and walk and he liked to do things outside. And he grew up on a ranch and like that was his exercise. So really the solution we came to was some nutrition things and not even a program to start with. And it just reminded me that sometimes we need to be able to meet somebody where their comfort zone is initially. That doesn't mean it's the end game. And I'll use myself for an example. When I first was introduced to Power 90, I was a little hesitant at first because $60, it was a lot of money for me to pay $60 for those DVDs to get started. But I didn't get any supplements. I mean, there was no Shakeology back then, but I didn't get any supplements or anything else. And any of the upsells, when I went to the site to buy it, I was like, no. And I was allowed to start with what I was comfortable with. But because I was, and then I plugged into that message boards where I saw other people talking about the Activate vitamins, or other people talking about Performance Formula, or some of the program or products that were available at the time. I slowly was like, oh, maybe there's something to this. I can get faster results if I do that. And it was different hearing it from people than it was to hearing it from the Beachbody site. And I quickly upgraded to the Activate. The first thing I upgraded to was the Performance Formula. So now we have E&E, but back in the day, Performance Formula took like 30 minutes before your workout. These 2 pills. And I literally would have the 2 pills by my bed, and my alarm would go off. I'd pop those and then lay there for like 15 more minutes and then go work out. And so I upgraded to that, and then I upgraded myself again to Activate. So this is from a guy saying I couldn't afford $60 to start, and all of a sudden I'm on 2 home directs within my first month of Power 90, right? Then they start showing previews on the Beachbody site and the message boards. We start hearing grumblings about P90X. And you see little videos on the Beachbody site, and all of a sudden I saw some of the preview videos, and I was like, wow, that's really scary. I got to do this. And back then, like P90X was like $225 just by itself. No Shakeology, no challenge pack. It was just $225 by itself. And I bought it. And I just found a way to make it work because I knew what Power 90 was doing for me with these supplements. And I upgraded myself so quickly. But I look back on it now, and if somebody would have told me, well, you have to do this, this, and this, and this, and this, and get everything at once, I don't know that I would have ever got started. And I'm not telling you this to say stop promoting challenge packs. Because as we heard from Clarissa a couple weeks ago, and if you haven't heard that call, I really would go back and watch the YouTube feed on Clarissa's call about how you can talk about the challenge packs being a coupon. And I think it was one of my biggest takeaways from that call. But if you find somebody that just absolutely cannot, there is no way you've gone through it with them, you've tried to help them replace, grocery bill for Shakeology. I know I've heard Tulin talk about that was a big key for her, and that's something she deals with is identifying what in their grocery bill they can replace for Shakeology. That way they're not trying to come up with new money. But sometimes we just run into those people that maybe they're not ready to start exercising yet, or they're not ready for like the whole kit and caboodle, but they know they want to change. If we can help them take that one small step and show them all the love and support as if they were a new coach that got a challenge pack, that like bought $1,000 worth of product, if you give them that kind of love and support, if all they did was get a core pack, they started taking Activit, maybe you made like a CrossFit guy or a guy that's in the gym and he doesn't want anything to do with Beachbody, but he's digging some E&E, right? You're not making a huge commission on that, but he's touched his toe into our community, our society. And then it's our job to show them why Beachbody is different, right? Why our community, why the crew is unique, and why this is different than their gym membership, and why this is different than any other class that they've taken or anything before, why our support is so different. It's really a huge opportunity. So, and I don't know why this hit me today. I guess talking to that guy, and I know we have so many new coaches that sometimes helping somebody to get that started with that challenge pack seems such like a big daunting task. That remember, it is okay to help somebody start with a smaller program and show them support. Still get them in that one of the crew community support groups. Show them that support, and you watch how they upgrade themselves pretty quickly. So that's what I really wanted to talk about a little bit tonight. I would love to take some Q&A. I'm going to remind you guys real quick that this has been such a good book to listen to, guys. I got the audio. I've really enjoyed it. John C. Maxwell, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And it just goes over and over how just growth doesn't just happen by itself. You got to put some effort in. And again, it goes back to, I just love it because I feel like it aligns so much with what we talk about all the time, about those little tiny unsexy things every day. What we talk about, it's why we suggest the compound effect when you first sign up to be a coach. But this, if you don't have this, if you're not listening to it yet, I highly recommend it. 15 minutes a day, it will change your world. So I'm going to open this Q&A box here real quick. And let's see. Jacani, I got your name right. What? Can you mention? All right. So if anybody has questions, and it doesn't have to be pertaining even to tonight's call, I just, every once in a while I like to get on here and just make myself available. Q&A, scenarios, whatever. We got a few minutes here, and I always like to get you back out in the world and be like, go keep serving. I don't want to keep you here too long. Let's go activate some things because I know a lot of you are really pushing to hit some goals before the end of this month. So I definitely want to give you this, for those of you that choose to work your business in the evenings, give you that opportunity. Ross LaRocco, how long did it take you to sign your first coach? That's a good question. I made the mistake. Kelly was not my first coach I ever signed up. I was I I made the mistake of not signing my spouse up immediately. And if you have a spouse or significant other or a family member that will just let you hold the spot, say, yeah, here's my soc, even if that means you're paying for an extra Shakeology to use as samples, I would just do it, because just signing that first coach, it's creating your own momentum. It's like starting that first workout, even though you have a laundry list of reasons why it's not the perfect time. And so I actually had somebody find me online from the message boards and signed out without me knowing anything. Like I looked up and I had a new coach. So I kind of fell into my first coach. Now that coach is no longer with us. In fact, my first two coaches, Kelly was the third person I signed up. I had two people contact me, I think, because of my presence on the message boards. And I wasn't even promoting coaching. I think just my profile changed and it said coach now. So they're like, what's this? And they signed up. Neither person lasted very long in this business. And then I finally sat down with Kelly and said, I need to get to, they keep saying I need to get to Emerald because that's when I get free customers. And that's where, I can start getting bonuses. I was like, if we're really going to give this thing a shot, I need to get here. And so after some chit chat, and it's funny. I mean, think about this. My wife, you guys all know and love her. She loved our program. She'd done Power 90, P90X with me and Turbo Jam. And she was still hesitant about the whole coaching thing. But she was willing to trust me, and God bless that she has, because our lives have been completely different ever since. Those two top spots were actually transferred to my in-laws. So my two coaches in the top of my two legs are Kelly's parents now. So there's some sweet spots, right? So I would just make it happen. I don't know. You just got to make it. Get that first one over the hump, and you will create your own momentum. And you can call it laws of the universe or whatever, but laws of inertia. There's something that's not in motion. It takes a lot to get it in motion. Once it's in motion, it moves easier. I probably totally butchered that law. That's why I'm a 3-time college dropout, so don't judge me. So let's keep going. What do you do when you're having some frustration and need to get back in gear? It's a really general question. But you know what? I can answer that regardless of how you're asking that. If you're asking about coaching, if you're asking about fitness, if you're asking about nutrition, I just plug back. I talked about this earlier. It's not about falling off. It's about how quickly can you recorrect. And you can recorrect faster by getting yourself around people that are already in that flow. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I truly believe that can include online. And so if you're like, you know what, I'm stuck. Okay, for the next 3 days, I'm posting after I do my power of 5 in the crew wall. You're going to immediately just recorrect. This week Kelly's been out of town, and my food and nutrition has been all over the place. I didn't realize how much her and Asher at home create my routine for me. And for what normally is never a struggle for me is like, dude, I got my food dialed in. My routine changed. Like, they aren't here. And so it's easy to sit around or have a buddy call and go, hey, you want to go out? And I'm like, well, family's not home. Sure, absolutely. But I quickly had to recorrect today. So I had to get back in this morning. I was going to hit the snooze. I was like, nope, I'm going to get up. I'm going to jump on my treadmill. I was going to get back in my routine. And what was I doing when I had the most success? What was that routine? We are creatures of routine. Get back in that routine. And if you've never had that routine, it's time for you to create it and quit playing around, right? It's like, okay, my workout, my food's planned. Know when those 5 things are happening during the day. Because if you just go, man, I hope that those 5 things happen today, not going to happen, more than likely. Shannon, I have a daughter that's heading off to college, is wanting to learn the business. Oh my gosh, sign her up. So I wish I had this in college. Talk to Emma. I don't know if Emma's on here. Tag Emma. Emma, I think, pays for her books and stuff with this. I mean, she's crazy. She has a whole fit club at her college. What's a good learning info to help her get a better idea what Beachbody coaching is all about? There's one of the videos I love the most is, I have it on YouTube and I can post it. I'm going to write myself a note. Post success stories. There's a video, and there's college students on there, and there's parents, and there's everybody talking about a little bit what coaching is about and how much money they're making. And for the people that are interested on the business side, I always send them this video, and I have a lot of success, especially people that wanted to upgrade from customers to coaches. And I said, just watch this video. I'm in there in the middle, and I'm talking about how I signed up just to get my discount on vitamins, and we ended up paying our rent in New York City with our Beachbody money. But it's a great video to show how, because I think, man, a college age person, half a lean nation is built with 20 somethings and that demographic. So that's something I'm sure Kobe or Jack or Alex or anybody in that demographic can help you with, or have them talk to her about what an awesome opportunity this is for a college student. I totally wish I had this. It beats waiting tables. Sorry, Kareem. Those two, I don't think my in-laws are going to give up those 2 spots. Shannon, be best to have her sign under me or my husband who's under me. I'm an Emerald and my husband's a coach. Shannon, I need to look at your situation. Either could work. If that helps get your husband to Emerald, it's all going to the same house. So you could do it that way. Obviously, on your way to, if you're an Emerald with just 2 coaches, then I may suggest you sponsoring her to give you insurance to stay Emerald, and on your way to Diamond for the 8 that you're going to need, your daughter being one of those. Because how awesome would that be if when you get to 2-star Diamond, 2 of your stars are your husband and your daughter, right? So maybe I would put them on separate legs. So that's just, those are options as well. Brandy, how do you and Kelly run your business together? Brandy, it's a good question. And you guys are in a unique situation because for the longest time, and I can say this because Kelly would say this to you because she's said it to me many times. And for the first 5 years, I ran our business. Kelly supported it. I ran it. She was working in corporate America. She understood some things. She'd come to Summit, but it was my business. And so I would strategically do things like I built her to Diamond. I remember coming back from a Summit and realizing what happens at Star Diamond. And I literally built Kelly to Diamond in a week because I just decided to. I go back and look at times like that and I'm like, I need to decide to do something else again because it's amazing when you just say enough's enough. This week, Kelly and I paid off a credit card. I'm really, really excited about that. And that's a credit card we could have paid off 3 years ago. We just decided, why are we playing around with this? We just focused on it. Right now, I'm much more the face of this thing, right? My personality, I'm the one on camera. So I feel like my roles in this, I'm the recruiter, I'm the motivator and the trainer, both for you guys and for my clients. Kelly is the glue that holds this whole stinking thing together now that she's full-time with us because she's the one that she knows who I need to follow up with. So she'll get my emails and go through them and say, okay, these are the people this is what I need responses from. And then that way I only have to focus on the people that need responses from me. So, because she's so much more organized than I am. I'm very scattered. But that also works towards my strengths. I used to be really ashamed of the fact that I could jump from idea to idea to idea. And I used to have people try to pin that as a weakness, the whole squirrel mentality. But I don't take that anymore because it's a strength. And so when people say that, I'm quick to correct them that I feel like it's a gift and it's a strength of mine. And God knew that enough to partner me with somebody who have strengths that are not mine. Now, but it doesn't have to work that way. You guys' relationship is so unique. Y'all know what works best. Kelly is now, she's kind of embraced the whole Ultimate Reset thing. So Kelly started recruiting, you've seen her mom's post and Kelly's success with the Ultimate Reset. So she started having more and more success with some videos and stuff like that. And then when say a challenge pack comes in or a coach that, hey, so-and-so wants to sign up, well, then that's where we sit. Okay, does it make more sense for you to sponsor them or for me to sponsor them? And we do that as a partnership. Are we trying to get, well, I have X number of Success Club points. Does it do me any better to have 2 more this month, or would it be better to get you to Success Club also, and then we both have those leads? So we really kind of just work things strategically that way. Hopefully that answered your question, Brandy. Okay, hold on, Jamil, this is long. Jamil asks, I went from signing as many coaches as I can get a hold of because of various reasons, including financial, so discount coaches, or just involving them in the crew community, to be very careful and specific about signing up criteria. Where would you draw the line on number versus potential? Man, that can be a judgment call, Jamil. I think what you're asking is, where do you draw the line at stopping to sign as many discount coaches and you're looking for actually productive people? I don't know that I wouldn't let somebody sign up as a discount coach if that's really going to help them in their discount, because I know enough successful coaches that started as, technically I started as a discount coach. I saw that there was an opportunity. I knew I was talking about this, but I didn't think, multiple 6 figures someday and we'll be doing this full time. Honestly, I didn't see the scope of this when I started. But I would just go in with an expectation differently of each one. So maybe there's an interview process or a screening process beforehand for you, right? And don't try to make a discount coach anything more than a discount coach at the beginning, because I used to push on discount coaches, be like, well, don't you want to get your stuff for free? And don't you want to do this, instead of just letting them be. And if you would let them be and just enjoy the crew community groups, and then when they start coming to you with, oh, my brother wants to get started, then you can help them up, and it's their idea, right? They've upgraded themselves. But I don't know that I have heard coaches say something before and say, hey, you know what? I don't know if you're ready to be a coach yet, so let's get you started with the challenge pack. Because they can still upgrade to a coach for free later, right? And just get them in the crew community group, and there's no pressure of even the word coach on there. And let them you're still getting the commission, you're still getting the challenge pack commission and the points, right? And you're just letting them live until they're ready to step up and put that label on themselves. So again, hopefully that helps. Sherry, people have talked to you on Google Plus instead of Facebook. Have you used Google Plus? I have before. Sherry, anybody else? You guys find where you can find people. There is not a right, wrong, better, worse social media platform. It's the one that works for you. If you dig Twitter and you get it, do it. We got coaches on here. I know Jillian, I know Brandy, and the Martins are killing it on Instagram. Tulin does a great job on it. Tulin and Kareem do great on videos. I know Kareem has his videos, I think, on another Vidler or Vimeo. I know Tulin has her YouTube page. Brandy and Brian are on Instagram all the time. Jillian's on there. Just once you figure out what platform you dig and you're kind of comfortable with, then start learning the rules of that platform, because everybody has a little different vernacular and a little different rules and a little different, because it's like a different clique. So you want to learn, how do we talk in this clique? And the faster you can become the expert in that clique, the more you can serve more people. But I really honestly think Google Plus is a very untapped market. I've said this again and again. The first coach that comes along, and I've started seeing some other coaches kind of using Hangouts now, but I'm telling you, I don't know anybody that's just straight up fat recruiting on Google Plus. And if one of you want to go, I know Guy Kawasaki's written a book about Google Plus. There's tutorials. Anytime you want to get on Google and be like, how to use Google Plus for business, make that part of your personal development every day. How do I dominate this social media? Instagram for business. I know it's out there. I'm working with Shalene right now, and Shalene's about to do an Instagram your brand training for Instagram. But how did she didn't write all this stuff. She went, and what I've learned so much from her, if she wants to dominate something, she goes and digs. She's a researcher, her and Brett both. And so you have this beautiful thing called Google or Bing or whatever search engine you're using, and there's people write articles about it. There's trainings out there that'll show you how to use your niche in whatever it is. How do I get more YouTube likes? There's information out there. How to get more Facebook likes? Do Facebook ads work? What about Google Plus? How can I use Hangouts? The world is at your fingertips right now. It's up to you to dig and figure it out and go, and then look how much power you have, because then you can share that, whether it's in the crew or with your coaches or whatever. Say, look, here's a little tip that I found. This is what's working for me. And then that gets exciting when you start teaching others how to do what you've done. Woohoo! Don't get me started. Liz, have you ever decided that maybe you're not the right coach for someone? Um, I've had this conversation with another coach before, and I don't know if you're talking about like as a client, like as a customer, or as a sponsor coach. I'm going to say this as a sponsor, I have not always gotten along with everybody I've personally sponsored. Everyone that I have ever sponsored does not love me. Real shocking, I know. I like to think I'm a likable guy, but sometimes it doesn't happen. You do not, and I'll repeat this, and if you're taking notes, you do not have to have a hunky-dory relationship with your sponsor coach to be wildly successful in this business. In fact, your sponsor coach doesn't have a whole stinking lot to do with your success in this business. If you have one that supports you, and the support system we have set up here in the crew, I think is rare. Hopefully you guys take advantage of it. I've seen so many of you guys talk about you went to Summit and you ran into coaches that had no support system, and you realize, wow, we have something pretty cool here, and I'm really proud of that. But if me and a coach I've sponsored don't see eye to eye or crossways, or they don't agree with the way I build the business and stuff, I bless them and say, well, go build it. And I've seen coach after coach after coach, and I know Lindsay Matway always comes to my head. She has no upline, no personally sponsored. Like, her sponsor coach doesn't do anything with this business, which is crazy because I'm thinking, wow, that person could make a lot of money just from what Lindsay's done. But she went and figured it out. Like, she went and did the research. Like I was talking before, she went to the events. She went to Summit. She talked to other top coaches. She jumped on. You guys can see it all the time on Facebook. Tommy Miger and some of these other coaches will be like, oh, we're opening up our team call tonight. Go jump on. Learn from other people. You're not hurting my feelings. It's not, like, go learn. I learn from these people all the time. We have people from other teams jump on this call all the time that I'll have people that'll text me like, hey, can I jump on the crew call tonight? As far as a customer, I don't know. I mean, I never tell somebody to go find another coach. I've had people say, hey, I've had people leave me to go work with another coach because they found a better connection with them. And you just have to bless and release sometimes. It stinks, especially if you feel like you're doing your best job. But at the end of the day, I would just try to get to their point and say, okay, what is it you feel like you're not? How can I do my job better? And take it as a learning opportunity. Oh, Tulin. This is a great one. What do you do with coaches who commit to a team cup, say they're in, and barely show up? I think we all need a comment on this one. It happens on every team cup. Every stinking one. Even, and I probably can say this and she doesn't mind, I won't use her name, but I think it's really obvious. Even the person who's in first place right now in the team cup have people on their cup team not showing up. It just happens. I've never had a cup team where all 5 people are in. Never. Ever, ever, ever. You work with the willing. You can't make somebody do this business. You can't make somebody want to coach. And if you spend all your time trying to turn I always hate to use numbers, but Craig Holiday used to talk about like a deck of cards. You can't turn a 3 into a queen. That 3 can change and decide they want to become a queen, but you can't change them into a queen or a king or an ace or whatever, however you want to say that. And I spent a lot of my time in this business early on trying to make 3s into queens. And it was just frustrating because I'd be all like 2-hour phone calls and chit chats and follow-ups and texts. You're going to do it or you're not, And if you're one of my coaches, anytime you reach out to me, I love you. We can chit chat. I'm not going to follow you. If you keep showing up, I keep showing up. Larry Zimberg used to talk about this too. You know what? You want to walk, I'll walk with you. You want to run, I will run with you. You disappear, I'm going to disappear because it's not my job to follow and babysit you. I got to work with the people that are showing up every day and saying, you know what? The people that have the most success on this, and we heard Melissa talk about the other day, are the people that pester me all the time, right? Now, I may lovingly say, that's a great question. Go ask on the crew wall. I'll answer you there. Or, hey, I can't answer this question right now, but you're going to get my time. And it's those people that keep asking me questions and keep Tulin, I can say this, you're an amazing example of that. You kept asking me questions, and you're not, and it's not like you're done, but you've become an amazing leader in this team. And it's because And even now, you keep going, just need you for a second, tick, 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 just need you for a second. And I love that about you because you want to keep growing. You want to keep going. And if I don't get back to you immediately, you lovingly said, which I can show a text to everybody, hey, P.S., text you the other day. Did you get a chance to answer that? I love that about you. And I love that about those coaches because I want the people with that hungry spirit of, how do I get better? Okay, I've hit this thing. How do we get over this? What's next? Just focus on those people. God bless the ones that aren't doing it. And with the thing that stinks the most is a lot of times those that aren't are the ones with the biggest potential. Then they just make you want to pull your hair out. You're like, this coach could rock this because they're this, or they're fit, or they have this following, or they whatever, and they just don't do it. And you're just like, man, it's a shame. But I can't make them do it. Ross, tips on engaging someone who's older, say 60, and their excuse is being too old. Stories. Right now I got a chick that's telling me she can't do something because of pregnancy. And what did you see me do? I went straight to the crew wall. I'm like, hey, guys, I need videos. I need a story. I would look around. There's got to be, like on the Team Beachbody wall, look in the Texas group, just ask, say, hey, guys, I need success stories of somebody who's over 60. If it's in a YouTube video, that'd be awesome. But if not, collect stories because stories are the number one objection overcomer. I don't know about that. All I know is share a story. And that person may keep telling you no, but they can't argue with the story. And I would just keep sharing stories. Great question. I love you too, Beezilla. To piggyback on Brandy's question, would it ever be possible to have a building this business as a couple training? Yeah, I think that's possible. Yeah, I'll see what I can do about that. I've done something similar. I was a guest over at Mindy Lawhorn's house one time, and she had a few couples over. So I also know. Here's a plug, and we haven't announced the scenarios yet, but we will be having couples as our special guests in our New Orleans trip that's coming up. So stay tuned for that. So that would be a great opportunity to qualify for that trip and be around top couple coaches to pick their brains. Oh my gosh, we're 3 after. I'm flying through these. Oh, great question. Okay, Beverly asked, good question. How do you tell the customer that you or Kelly are communicating with that you're going to have you or Kelly sponsor them instead of that person they were originally talking to? Great question. Simple answer. I do this all the time because I also my mother and father-in-law's account, we control those. So there's sometimes that I'm sponsoring somebody under my mother-in-law. So excited to be working with you. I take great pride in working with the people that choose to step, to reach out to me, step up and get started. I'm going to send you this, and then you're going to see the name Kathy Sanji on there. Don't let that freak you out at all. It's my mother-in-law. It's an account I run with that I manage. So nothing's changing. You're actually getting support from me and my wife. So you'll be working with both of us. The Kathy thing is it's an account that I run. It's actually for my son. In the future, it'll be his account. But again, you're going to get me. You're getting my wife. You're getting the support of the entire crew. We're really excited to work with you. Just need you to follow these steps. I just do it with enthusiasm. Let me tell you what amazing opportunity you're getting in. If somebody asks, well, why are you putting me over here under Kathy? Okay. And I'm like, oh, great question. You seem really serious about wanting to be great, really have success with this. And I'm putting you in the most advantageous spot to where you can have more success with this business is actually me putting you there. Like I said, you're still working with me. I mean, I can sponsor you, can have my name there, but you're going to be in a better spot over here under this. So since you're working with me either way, I thought I'd be nice and put you in the spot that was most advantageous to you. Who doesn't want that, right? Hopefully that answers your question. Same thing with a customer. If it's just a challenge pack, great. Okay, you're going to see this. You're going to see Kelly Nelson is your coach. That's my wife. We actually coach everybody together. I have my strength. She has hers. So guess what? You're going to be doubly taken care of for us getting you your results. I know, Robin. How could somebody not love me? Come on. Oh, can you post the crew video from Summit for us to use? It's on the way. I've got to outsource that. There's another thing. I have all those videos, and I have lots of videos that need to be outsourced, edited, and posted to the new Crew Trainings YouTube. It's in the works. Thank you for your patience. Jacania, last question. I work for 3 radiation oncologists, and many of our cancer patients could benefit from Shakeology. How would I go with speaking to them about it without interfering with their medical treatment or not getting fired? That may be a conversation to have with Jamil. I would talk to another doctor or somebody else in the medical field who's had success with this. I have a guy in my challenge group right now who keeps telling me he can't be a coach, even though he is a coach. Like, he straight up like refers people all the time. He has people on Shakeology, and he keeps telling me he can't be a coach because of conflict of interest or whatever. And so, like, I use one of Jamil's stories in that group. I'll just try to share a story because there's a ton of coaches that are doctors. Our OB that delivered my son is a coach. So I would talk to somebody in that field and see how the best way to bring that up is, because I don't know doctor speak. All right, guys. That is it for tonight. Remember, we need more stories. We need more stories, before and afters, videos, little short snippet videos. Go back to that 20 seconds. It doesn't be 20 seconds, but if you can make a minute testimony on, man, I lost this, or have, even in your challengers, ask for, hey, we're looking for 1 minute testimonies about your first week at T25. Do you know how awesome that would be if we can start collecting those videos and we can all use them and share them with each other? Because we have all these different demographics talking about what their first week at T25 was like, right? And then please share those on the crew wall so we can all use them. And then last but not least, right now, remember, there are no live new to crew webinars on Wednesdays right now. We're in the process of creating something brand new and amazing for you. But in the meantime, when you do sign a new coach, something you want to do immediately is get them in the crew wall, introduce them to everybody, have them give their 3 W's. But you also want to make sure that they have this URL, crewtrainings.com/new coach. And I always let them know our most successful coaches watch this webinar within their first 48 hours to have success. So that's it for tonight, guys. I would love to hear your feedback on the crew wall of some of your biggest takeaways and the things you're activating tonight. You guys are doing an amazing job. I'm so proud of you. Continue serving others. Go crush it. Deliver hope. Make this thing happen. And I will see you on the crew wall. I love you. You guys have a great night. Good night.